So I was on a sobriety call this morning, and a woman had shared how she's a couple months in, but getting frustrated at the thought. Has good days and bad. And today was one. She's just frustrated at the thought of basically that she can never drink again. And it definitely happens till eventually over time we come to full acceptance, which is key. And particularly acceptance that we are the luckiest for eventually learning to live a life without alcohol. So then at the end of the call, a woman came on and talked about what helped her accept it was thinking how she had the asparagus PG, which I've talked about before, but if you don't know, it's where when you eat asparagus within minutes, if you go to the bathroom, I guess I'll best explain it. I would literally think, oh, what is happening? Is there a dead animal in the bathroom? Because I'll forget, because I don't eat asparagus that often. And then within 2 seconds, I remember, oh no, I just ate asparagus. And it amazingly causes this really foul odor in about 60% of us. And she said, I just accepted it. You know, she goes, I eat a lot of asparagus and I hate that pee smell, but I just accepted that that's something I've got. And so coincidentally, I was lined up to share after her. It was even kind of after the meeting time, but the host said she was happy to go over and I wanted to mention something else. And I said, that's amazing because I've made that analogy before. And I've also made the one to the cilantro gene, which I think it's only about 30% of us have. But I grew up thinking, what's wrong with me? Why does everyone else love cilantro and I hate it? And it turns out it's because of that gene literally changes the flavor to a soapy-like taste. It's amazing how it works. Google it. But for my people, does that sound familiar? You know, thinking, what's wrong with me? Why can everyone else enjoy cilantro, but I can't? Well, it's the same thing with alcohol. And that's why I've never said what's wrong with me, because I've always known in my case, it's genetic. And it doesn't have to be. You can drink yourself into the disorder and have the permanent rewiring the brain that we have. It is a mental brain disorder, disease, as I've talked about in several videos. But the other things, we just process it differently. And another analogy I haven't really talked much about is just like celiacs cannot process gluten, and they will die if they overconsume gluten. You know, and for us, we will die from alcohol, just not as quickly. It's almost a shame. You know, but I've said to people, you know, boo-hoo, we're allergic to alcohol. Sadly, we can never drink it again, but, you know, celiacs just accept it. It's funny how celiacs is not nearly a negative term as alcoholic, but I've never let that term bother me. It just means I happen to process alcohol differently. It's not a matter of willpower. I just can't sip alcohol and only have a couple like a normal person, and it's a progressive disorder. It gets worse. So maybe there was a time I could have, but it gets worse over the years. But I just need to accept it. Just as that I can't eat cilantro and I've got also the asparagus pea smell. Seems I've got it all. And one more analogy I'll throw out is with pot. I can smoke. I can take one hit of pot, and I'm not a big pot smoker, but when I do, I can take it or leave it. Sort of like my father with drinking on the Italian side of my family. I can take one hit of pot and be good for hours and never need another one. And then I have friends that take hit after hit after hit, which to the point that they probably have some kind of pot disorder. You know, anyone can get addicted to any addictive substance, but this is an addiction disorder. It's completely different. A regular addiction, yes, you can be with willpower, like eating chocolate after dinner, etc. But this takes more than that. That's why you have to do the work, and that's why you need to accept it. That you can never drink again. And once you do, you'll eventually learn to embrace it. And as I said, realize that we are in fact the luckiest, and we truly are. So I think that covers it. As always, stronger, sober. And please like, share, subscribe. Thanks.